Hey, this is Carlos from Immortals Inc. Podcast, and I have Mikey with me as always.
On the computing system?
Yes, on the elite evil computing system. And special guest today we have is Travis Miller.
Not special guest anymore. I think he's just like here.
I guess after
think he's
three.
like
Recurring villain.
Yeah,
I think he's the recurring villain.
And Travis is part of his Grumpy Wizard, right?
Grumpy Wizard
blog.
blog. I have a
Yep.
YouTube channel, all kinds of crap.
Yep, there's some nice interviews on there. Check the link in the description for his channel, by the way.
And when Travis comes in, we talk about different stuff that's weird and unusual, or I don't know,
Concerning.
fun. It's concerning. But today we're going to talk about something nice. Gamehole, the convention.
Yes, in Madison, Wisconsin.
This is
Madison.
Game Hall.
Hole.
H-O-L-E.
Oh,
I
so
believe it is named after the organizer's home game room. He calls it the Game Hole. Is it?
I don't think
He's Alex Kammer. He's a big. He has a collection of D&D stuff that would impress even you.
Oh,
He has. If you ever see photos or video of him, like an interview, there's a few of those floating around out there. There's a bookshelf on the wall that's just solid collection of everything that has ever been published for Dungeons and Dragons ever.
yeah.
On the wall.
I need one of those.
He also owns the original map that Ed Greenwood made for the Forgotten Realms from, I don't know how he got his hands on that.
Oh, does he?
I
Yes,
think you're a
he
little
does.
jealous.
For now, he owns that.
Yes.
I think you need to step up your
He's
collection.
got it in a big case with the air all sucked out of it with the museum glass and all that
Really?
sort of stuff. Yeah, it's nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out of control.
I thought about that when I'm crazy. I have some stuff that I want to keep, and I'm like, do I put it? Nah, that's psycho behavior.
Do I vacuum
Right.
seal this?
Yeah, but apparently it's not. So, all right. Well, anyway, what's Gamehole
So
about?
Gamehole Con is a convention that's been happening 10 years now in Madison, and it is the largest RPG central convention in the United States. So most of the gaming that happens there are role-playing games. They
What do you
do
mean, like largest? Oh, it's just RPGs.
That's mostly RPGs.
Oh.
It's not entirely. They like in the last couple of years they've had a big Magic the Gathering tournament called CubeCon, where basically you build a cube of
yeah.
stuff and then
Probably the
draft
old-
from that.
It's probably older stuff too. That's why. Yeah.
They also have a really good board game library that you can draw from there too. And there's a number of seminars and that sort of thing that
How
go
many?
on.
How many people?
6,000 this year, which was a
Ooh.
record for them.
That's not bad. It's not Gen Con numbers, but
No,
That's
and
pretty good.
and
That's
Origins
nice.
is what 20,000.
yeah. So
But there probably aren't many conventions that are gaming, tabletop gaming focused, or that have that kind of numbers.
so if they open it up, I bet you they could probably compete even Origins.
Right.
Stuff like
I mean,
that,
and
yeah.
if you think about, Gen Con's got a lot of other stuff besides
Yeah, it does. It
besides
does.
tabletop gaming. There's got all the story, the fiction track, and the
Artists
and all the other stuff. So
Yeah, there's
this-
a lot
this
of.
is
There's a lot of.
almost entirely, and all the major RPG companies are there. Modifius, Free League.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that Pinnacle Games is there. In fact, in one area there's a bunch of smaller rooms, like conference rooms, that are in each room has just one of those companies rents it to run demos. So I went into the Free League room and played a couple games, played a game of Symbarim and some other stuff.
I actually talked to the Free League people at Gen Con. They were real nice, and
Yeah, they're really great,
they're-
and they had a really good selection of games there. They had a group of demo game masters that they had handpicked to come and run games there, and it was a good event.
yeah, my end of it, I had some complaints about getting their stuff, and they actually listened and gave me advice, and so
Cool.
they take a look. So that was cool.
Yeah,
What? How is it? A weekend or a week long? Or
4 days:
4 days.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Madison, huh?
In Madison, yeah, and it's a great event. I was
How long ago was it?
beginning of October.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
Right.
I went to a convention in Madison, Wisconsin in the winter, and
Oh yeah, it'd be bad. Wouldn't want to do that. It's like -10 outside.
I mean, it's Cleveland, we're cold,
Right.
but that's a different cold up there.
It is. No, it was very pleasant. It was a little chilly that day. Like on one of the days, it was a little cool, a little wind, but it wasn't bad. And it's a big convention space. There, the Alliant Energy Center or something like that.
Was it on a lake?
No,
Oh.
no, it was in town.
But it was on a big water area.
Not that I saw, but I only.
Maybe that's a different
Right.
convention hall I'm thinking of.
But it was big. It was a nice space. There's Monty Cook Games had a whole big lounge area that they had sponsored. See what else there was. Just continuous gaming, pretty much from 8 in the morning until 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night.
That's cool.
They had great food trucks there.
Oh, it's Wisconsin.
That's where I'd be. I'd be at the food truck the whole time.
Was there like cheese products by chance?
There was a lot of. I noticed a lot of well-known game designers because they sponsor and have guest hosts. A bunch of famous game designers and writers and artists come on their dime to the event. So I went to 2 seminars with Mark Miller, who wrote the Traveler role-playing game.
Yes.
And he had a big booth in the dealer hall there. There was a bunch of dealers. The dealer hall is huge. And there's just a lot of fun events that you only get at a convention like that, like the Goodman Games guys. There's a group of judges that run Goodman Games stuff that had a big event for cancer research.
Okay.
So they had a gigantic floor map of Tegel Manor, which is an old Judges Guild
Yep.
adventure, and that Goodman republished, and they had 3 groups of adventurers adventuring in Tegel Manor simultaneously with 3 different dungeon masters, and it was basically a sort of your character is going to eventually die within 15 to 20 minutes, and there was people constantly being
pushed back in and forth.
yeah, and you sort of cycle in and out, and it was a all-day event, like 6-8 hours, something like that. And to play, you had to pay a couple bucks, and then you can get a magic item for your adventurer. Pay $2 more, and then all the money that they raised.
A true pay to play for cancer.
Yeah.
Yes, and so all the money that they raised went to cancer research.
That's
that
good.
was a memorial for a gamer that was part of the Goodman Games Dungeon Crawl Classics community. So they I think they raised like $5,000 or something.
that's
So
not
that
bad
was it was a good event.
Just screwing around. Yeah.
They have a big auction. They have a big collector's auction there, and they get some weird stuff. They get some really unusual, interesting things because there's old timers from the 70s and 80s
I was gonna say
that show up and either donate something or they sell something and get pay a little bit of a commission to the convention.
They like you were saying, that's got to be because I see some of this stuff, it gets sold, or I'll see it in different conventions, and it's like, how do you get a hold of that? Like you were talking about the map, and then
Somebody's original manuscript with their handwritten notes.
Do I need that? No. Do I want it? Why? It's like it's the same thing. It's like everything else. Why do I have this?
There's collectors that go to
I
that
know.
convention. There's some collectors that have some like .com money that they won that they
Like Mikey, you think I collect like old stuff? I'm on the low end.
Yeah, no.
I would be snubbed by these,
especially after
people.
that guy with the vacuum suit.
Yeah, I know that they would be like, "Oh, that's nice. You have one Dragon number 1.
You have one vacuum sealed item? Okay, I have 5.
Oh, you don't have the original box set with his signature on it.
You don't have the gilded box set?
I say no, but that Mark Miller, you were saying that Mark Miller, and to me in my head, I don't think people realize, like, if you play a game or something like that, and Traveler's like from obviously
1978, 9, something like that.
Yeah, so how old's that guy? He's got to be.
He's in his late. He's like 70, 72.
Yeah, so it's like in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's an old game, and like some, all these gamers, they haven't even born, and they're just young, and they're like, oh, this is an ancient game written by the Greeks, and it's like this old, guy with a beard shows up. Yeah, I wrote that. And the concept of it cracks me up because he had to be young when he wrote it, right? Like,
oh yeah, I'm sure they were in
relatively
their
young.
20s. Because he was working for GDW.
But you're screwing around. But you're screwing around. You know, you're just playing a game, and all of a sudden, you know, it makes me laugh. But
yeah, it's an interesting. And he gave a couple really good seminars that I went to about rule design for Traveler and why they design things certain ways. People and basically all the nerds got there. The really hardcore Traveler guys were there those talking about like obscure rules and like, why did you do that? Well, we were thinking about this.
Yeah, it's like because, you know, it's like, why not? Traveler's a game where you could actually die during character creation.
Okay.
Yeah, it had. Well, there's a lot, but I mean, there's a lot of them. But that was the original one. Like, I spent an hour making this guy. He died. You know?
What happened? Just like
it's usually like
birth
military
defects?
service.
Well, no, what it is that the way you generate a character in Traveler is your character has a career before they become an adventurer, basically, as like a merchant marine or a soldier or something, and so you can decide, I'm gonna sign this guy up for it. It's like a mini game almost, where you can say, I'm gonna sign this guy up for another enlistment. And you roll some dice to see what happens. Oh, he got a leg injury, so he doesn't move as fast. But he got this cool prosthetic, which he can shoot a laser with, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or he has a ship, or he has his piloting skill got better, or whatever it was. But the farther you but you can stop and go, well, that character's good enough. But if I push my luck and roll again, and it's like he gets into that 4th and 5th enlistment, and you're like, this guy's getting pretty close to maybe catching a bullet on this one. So you can lose a character that way.
Okay,
you have to start over.
Yeah, or you can just get old. Like, some people like you can min max characters. Like, I'm gonna get all these skills, so you get all the skills you want, but then your guy's like 98. You know, and you're like, there's not much of adventure now.
Not much to do.
I guess you could, but
not much.
So that was good, and he talked about.
Like that's not to cut you off, but it's like those. That's the kind of cool about those smaller conventions like that. Yep. You can meet on a regular like walkthrough. It's not like a special guest, or you have to pay all these.
Yeah, I walked past Tim Kask, the guy who was the editor for the Dragon when that number 1 was published.
Yeah.
He's wandering around the events, talking to people and playing games and doing some other stuff there.
There's not that barrier of like.
And they're not.
I don't want to.
With a very, very few exceptions, I have never had a game designer that I met at a convention who was a jerk and wouldn't talk to you or wouldn't take a minute to sign something for you if you brought something to them, or wasn't excited that somebody really loved their game that they had written in 1984 and asks them some obscure question about something that they had written, and or just want to hang out or you see them at the bar or something after gaming that night and will be happy to sit and talk with you. I mean, it's just usually, they're gamers too.
The few I've run into, like, I've always been kind of cool about it. Like, I wouldn't recognize a guy if I saw him unless somebody told him. But even when you meet him or run into people, you're like, oh, they're cool. And stuff like that. So how much was it to get in this place?
It was $75 for the 4-day.
Oh, that's not bad.
Ticket. And
Madison, what's it take to stay up there? I don't think it's that much.
Well, it was not too bad, and I split a room with a friend of mine. So you could. So one thing that's really, really nice about Gamehole Con is they integrate everything into their website. So you go on their website, and there's a page for accommodations, and you click on there, and it lists all the hotel rooms where you get a discounted hotel room rate for the convention.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So you can go on there and then you just click through, and it puts you right on their website, and it sets you up for the days. And it's like it took maybe 5-10 minutes to set it all up, and it was really simple.
That's easier.
Really easy. Everything about that convention is super simple. Like signing up for games. I ran 5 sessions over the weekend, and I put my games in. It was really simple to fill in their forms. Within a couple days, I got confirmation back that they had accepted my events and put them where they were on the schedule. Signing up for games was very easy.
You listening to this when we take this on the road? You're ready to go.
Wisconsin?
Well,
Yep.
wherever. Yeah, he'll go Wisconsin.
Yeah. And they
I get the warm states.
Yeah.
I hung out with some friends of mine from online, a guy named Jason Hobbs. He has a podcast called Hobbs and Friends.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Another one called Rambling Screed that he does occasionally.
The Hobbs one I have heard of.
And
now that I wander YouTube.
Wander the net.
No,
he had a little booth there. A bunch of us hung out and had a good time.
That's cool. Well, thanks, Travis.
You're welcome.
Gamehole Con.
When is it? What day? What is it?
Just
annually around October?
Yeah, it's October, early October. They already had the dates picked out for next year. They've had that all set up, and they'll start putting out more information. I recommend, if you're interested in going, I recommend getting signed up on their email list, because then they send out emails with information regularly. They're very good about communicating.
That's when I take my furlough. So maybe I will.
Might have to go.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
I know. Maybe even for the weekend. Madison's not that hard drive from Cleveland.
7 hours.
Oh, Lord, man.
Through Chicago.
Never mind.
Oh, we're flying. I could probably fly there before
He'll get us a first class ticket over there.
No. That'd be me. Oh, you drive.
Nope.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Gamehole Con. Is it just GameholeCon.com?
I think so, yeah. Or maybe org. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll.
I'll put the website in the description.
And if you like this and you like any other content and you like what you see, give us a like, a subscribe, or a comment. All right, until next time.
Later, guys.